you race in Europe or the US, there are two premier classes, 250cc and 450cc. Each class has a time practice and a qualifying race, where a rider is timed and scored electronically each time they're on the track. These times are used to seed a rider into two motos. Motos, rider slang for a single race at an event. These motos, which are actual races, are timed. For example, 30 minutes plus 2 laps. Points are awarded for each moto, starting at 26 for first place in AMA events and 25 points at MXGP races. Points accumulate over the season, determining an overall champ. Any rider will tell you the most intense moment of a race is at the starting gate, the metal barrier that the riders line up behind at the start of each moto. Your place in the line is determined by your practice times. The fastest rider has the first pick, the second fastest the second pick, and so on. When the gate drops, the race is on. Then it's all about getting the hole shot. Hole shot, getting to a spot on the track ahead of the rest of the pack, traditionally the first corner.
Yeah, the hole shot is important. It's huge, actually. I would say 60 to 70% of the race.
When I envision the perfect start, I think about timing that gate perfectly and just barely nicking it with my front wheel, getting the power to the ground, driving all the way through the straightaway, and just having my front tire just barely hovering about 3 inches off the ground. Perfect. As soon as that gate drops, my bike is like a cannon coming out. Aside from winning the race, the best feeling you can get is that hole shot.
Once ahead, things can get really hairy really fast. Hitting tight corners and navigating rutted dirt while chased by a pack of fierce competitors takes insane amounts of skill. And 250cc champion Marvin Muskin knows a thing or two about that.
Races are won and lost in the corners. Anyone can go down the straight fast, but the turns is where you drop lap times and pass your competition. Coming into the corners, it is important to really set your line and look ahead to your exit point. Sometimes I wheelie over the braking bumps coming into the turn.
Cornering like Marvin takes years to perfect. But what's the deal with that leg-out pose you often see in motocross?
In turns, when you're sitting down, putting your inside leg near your front tire will lower your center of gravity. This will help with your front end feel.
Motocross is risky. Crashes are par for the course. So while riders need to be tough and skilled, their last line of defense is state-of-the-art safety gear like a neck brace, for example.
This is a neck brace. It sits on your shoulders and it helps to avoid spinal injuries. For me, that's the most important protection. The helmet would definitely protect your head and probably save your life if you have a big crash. This is a chest protector. It protects from any kind of impact. If you hit the handlebars, if you crash, obviously protection on the back and on the front. This is a boot. It protects your ankle, your feet, also the support on the foot pegs when you stand up, and it's really important. This is a pair of goggles. It protects your face and mainly your eyes, especially if you ride with somebody else and you follow somebody. From getting roosted, it's really important. It protects you. When I grew up racing, I didn't have a neck brace, for example. The whole gear is getting better and better.
Even with top-of-the-line gear and mountains of skill, a rider's still gonna take their spills. Jeffrey Hurlings has a long history of injuries and comebacks. The Dutch rider won 3 world titles in the 250cc class in Europe and could have won even more if it weren't for repeat injuries.
Things can change really quick, a football field is always same, but a motocross track, it can change within 5 minutes. I was really fighting against the pain. I'm hired to win, but if I re-break it, my season would be completely done.
For the man called the Bullet, giving up was never an option, because fighting back was always part of the dream.
I have to prepare myself differently.
to change my body and mind. It's about getting fitter and staying fit, beating fear, beating pain, and staying fit. Speed, getting stronger, racing, beating pain, and staying fit. Suffering, celebrating, getting faster, and staying fit. Adrenaline to recovery. Racing, beating pain, to medication. Winning, adrenaline, being a champion. I ride rock hard now. I still love it. Each moment I'm on the bike, it gives you a special feeling, and you have to make choices in your life, and I chosen this path, and till now I have no regrets.
In a sport that pushes you to the limit every time you hit the track, crossing the finish line in one piece takes preparation and specialized training. Ask any enthusiast who the training guru is, and they'll say Alden Baker. Baker's program, based in Clermont, Florida, has been the home away from home for some of the most successful riders. At his purpose-built facility, athletes are pushed hard against each other and, more importantly, against themselves.
Roger DeCoster wanted me to train with Alden, and we could see right away in 2015 I was able to be more confident and stronger in Supercross, and I got second at Outdoors, so it was a great season.
For a motocross career, I think it's bad for you to have a bad weekend and then come back and isolate yourself. I think that's a good thing that we have going there is we have each other.
Well, the first thing when I look at a rider and I kind of get an idea of how much heart they have, because that's something I can't train. When I see that they want to commit to the program in Florida, that also gives me an idea on what they are wanting to get out of it.
With names like Ryan Dungey, James Stewart, and Ken Roxon having come through the program, success seems to be routine for Alden Baker. One thing is for sure, his ethos is hard work, fully preparing his racers for the many challenges they'll face.
I'd rather pick up a big stick and just start slapping you on the back.
No, keep screaming.
Where Alden raises a rider up, those closest to a rider keep them grounded. That's why many racers travel and work with a close team, making it like a family business.
Working with Alden, the people I've met, most of my friends I've met within the industry. So, it's just kind of, I've been around it since I was 5 years old. I mean, I don't really know no other way.
In the youth years, my mom and dad, they were manager, cook, trainer, everything in one. Like now, we just fly to the races and everything is there when we show up. But then when you're young, sometimes we sit in a van for 1.5 days to go to a race and sleep overnight in the back of a van. And when you look back to those moments, it's pretty fun. But at that point, it was really exhausting, especially as a little kid. But it made me what I am today.